Hi friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. My name's Amanda. I am a gardener here in Zone 6 in the southwest of Ohio, and it's fall. So basically the garden is at its end for the summer garden. I do have some fall things planted, and they're just doing lovely. I wasn't gonna turn the camera on just because I was gonna do like a slow, nice, easy pick of my peppers. I have some more peppers in this bed right here that are ready to come out, and I already kind of showed you guys my pepper harvest from the last time. I got more peppers, and it's gonna be really soon here in the next few weeks. It's the 6th of October, so in like 2 weeks or so I will be planting out my garlic. I asked in a video not too long ago where you guys think I should plant my garlic. The previous year I planted it in this big wooden bed that's actually behind you, and I think this year I'm going to try planting it in this bed right here. The thing is that I have to make sure that this is cleared. Obviously peppers aren't going to live too long after a frost, which is coming. This weekend we were supposed to get temps down into like the high 30s, low 40s for like a morning, and I'm certain that a lot of these peppers are not going to make it. And I'm thrilled with the amount of peppers that I've gotten from these plants. I probably will take you guys inside with me later to show you my first fermented Sugar Rush peach and peach pepper hot sauce. And I think I'm gonna have a ton more Sugar Rush peach peppers that are gonna be good for that. But I just kind of want to take you guys around my garden and show you what my garden looks like at this time of the year. As we get closer to winter, I'm going to be longing for this garden, but right now I think I've neglected a lot of the spaces in this garden just because it's been a long year. The mosquitoes, every single year for like the first month or so of the season, they're really calm and I don't have to worry about them too much, and then they just come full force, and it's every single time I'm out in the garden I'm just getting eaten up. Right now I think it's been cool enough that the mosquitoes have kind of relaxed a little bit, but I'm sure every once in a while you'll see one land on my face, and just I can't stand them. I'm going to take you guys inside here in a minute, but first I need to finish harvesting some peppers, and I'm actually going to cut my peppers down, a few of them, just because there's no way that they're going to finish producing or produce new peppers anytime soon, or at least before my frost. So I'm going to get in there. I already got a good second batch of these peppers, which look how awesome this guy is. So this guy formed just like this right on the vine. There was nothing holding him back or pushing him to form like this. Isn't that cool? I actually saw this when it was green and was waiting for the day that it was going to turn red. So super cute. But let's get in here and harvest some more of these peppers. As you'll see, I start going ahead and picking the peppers off the plants one by one. Eventually, since I know I'm going to be cutting these plants down, I stop picking peppers off of the plant, and I just take the entire plant and sit down and do a big old picking peppers fest. But look how many beautiful Sugar Rush peach peppers are on these plants. This plant was so prolific. I'm just gonna leave this guy to compost. So this is one of my bell peppers, and it no longer has anything on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut at the base and remove these guys. I'm gonna leave the roots in the ground and hopefully they won't be too much of a menace. They should, over time, just compost in place. And I will put that somewhere to compost. Probably just go ahead and do all of my peppers, or all my bell peppers at least. Look at that little baby. Who else here can't resist the urge to pull the weeds that are just sporadically throughout the garden? Every time I see one while I'm doing a different task, I find myself picking them out. Even though inevitably these guys are going to be right back the next week. So I think because it's going to get so cold this weekend, I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of my pepper plants back. I could risk it and just maybe tarp them overnight, just because it's going to be a little too cool for them. I think tarping would make it so they last a little bit longer, but I don't know how much more production I could get out of them. And since I'm going to be planting garlic in here, I want to go ahead and amend this bed, add a nice new layer of compost just to kind of refresh it a little bit. And then I need to put some nitrogen fertilizers in this bed, because garlic is a really heavy nitrogen feeder. We got another jalapeno. So even though I am clearing out all of these summer plants, these pepper plants, I am incredibly sad to see them go, but I'm also really excited for the next crop that I'm going to be putting in this space. So the garlic is going to be going in this space thanks to suggestions from you guys. So it's a new season coming. I am sad to see the summer season go, but next year is going to be full of so much growth, and I'm so excited to utilize all of the new skills that I learned from this season and apply them next. Alright, so with all my pepper plants gone, I am going to be sure to pick all of the unripened peppers off these plants. So these should be red. These are the Cayenne Long Slim. I think I have some Chili de Arbol peppers in here. I know I grabbed a whole bunch of Sugar Rush peach peppers, which are these guys, which should be ripened to like a brilliant peachy color. We're gonna see what we can do with these, because even though these are not ripened, they are still edible. So I'm sure I could find a use for them. I'm curious to see how spicy they are unripened. But for now, I'm gonna pick all these peppers off these plants. All of the leftover foliage and stems and whatnot, I'll throw into my compost pile back there, and then we'll go inside. I'll leave the amending of this bed for another time, because despite the mosquitoes not being as bad, they are attacking my ankles right now, and I'm ready to go inside. One last thing I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick up all of my tags, because I don't want to leave these in my garden bed. I'm starting to wonder if there's like a canning recipe for like little thin peppers like this. I'm gonna have to do some research because I think that would be really cool. I need to do something with these guys fairly quickly, whether that's dehydrating them and making them into a powder or canning them. If I want to can them, I should probably do that either tonight or tomorrow. So I want to see if I can find a recipe for these little ones because I think that'd be really good, like a pickled pepper like this. How cute would that be? I'm sure these guys are kind of spicy, but like, I think it'd be tasty. So during the duration of picking all of these peppers, it took quite a while. So I think in total I spent about 20 minutes picking every single pepper off of all of these plants. But I am so glad that I took the time to do this. I actually am getting ready to can these currently present day. But it has taken me a few days to get to them, but I'm thinking to do a hot pepper recipe with these. Look at all of those peppers. I'm definitely going to have to make a recipe out of these. Super excited. This is my fermented peppers. So in here I have my Sugar Rush peach peppers. I had a half or up to a whole peach. I just kind of sliced off some of my peaches from the frozen ones I had in my freezer. Added in a clove or two of garlic, and then a good amount of salt. I'll go ahead and link down the recipe I used below. You're supposed to use a certain percentage of salt per weight of, or measurement of whatever solids you're putting in here, just so that you get a good environment for the good bacteria and yeast to grow, and so that no bad molds grow. So I put that in my cupboard with a plastic bag at the top filled with water, just so that everything will, all the peppers and stuff were submerged under the water level, because if anything comes up above that water level, you're going to get mold. And I would just check it every few days and use my chopstick to, you know, release any of the bubbles that came about with fermenting. So this is the brine that was left over. It is cloudy. That is normal. If you get a layer of white film, it's calm yeast if it's not fuzzy. Calm yeast is not bad for you, but it doesn't particularly do good for your ferments. It can alter the flavor just slightly. But it occurs when the salt level isn't high enough, or if the environment is too warm. If your ferment is in a warmer environment, the yeasts are more active. It is perfectly normal. You can go ahead and just scoop that calm yeast out. Some people even stir it into the mixture, but again, not harmful to you. I didn't have that, however, because I used my little baggie to keep everything submerged. So we'll see how this ends up being. I went ahead and I drained out all of my brine to put to the side. I toasted some, this is actually elephant garlic. It said to use garlic. Probably is going to change the flavor a little bit because this is more like an onion than garlic. It does have garlic flavor. I just figured I'd use it because I had it. I toasted that with just a neutral flavored oil. So I've got my infused oil, my toasted garlic, my brine. I went ahead and measured out 150 milliliters of white distilled vinegar. So I'm going to pop my peppers and my peaches in here, and we'll start getting this all put together. All right, so the recipe that I am following off of is from Joshua Weissman. What is his channel? I'll pop his channel down below, along with the link to the fermented hot sauce recipe that I'm kind of basing mine off of. My ingredients are a little bit different just because I'm using different peppers, but the concept is pretty much the same when it comes to fermentation. So I'm gonna pop my peppers into my blender and we'll get started on getting this blended up. So that was just the perfect amount of peppers for my blender because this is the max fill line and it is just below that. Push this down a little bit. So the next step is to add in my 150 milliliters of my white vinegar. I'm just gonna pour that over top. The white vinegar is going to make it so that that hot sauce lasts longer. Fermented foods already last pretty long, but white vinegar is like another added layer of protection, I guess. I'm going to add in the toasted elephant garlic. And then we need 3 tablespoons, or I think he said 42 milliliters of our brine added. So I can eyeball this. And if I need to add a little more, I can add a little more if I want a looser consistency. We're going to keep the oil on the side just because we're going to stream this in while we are mixing it, and it's going to give it a nice smooth consistency. I don't think that he used all of the oil in his recipe, although I think I had more peppers, more weight of peppers than he did, so my recipe might need a little more than his did. So my big puree, I don't know if it needs to like blend for multiple minutes to get a puree, but when I use the puree button, it doesn't quite get it to like a fine mix. So I'm using my magic bullet, my smoothie thing, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this for smoothies anymore because it's spicy, and I don't know that I want spicy smoothies. I don't know if that's going to like contaminate my smoothies. That's fine. So I went ahead and poured a good amount into here. I think this is good enough for me to sieve. So I'm going to put it through my sieve just to give it a finer consistency. We'll see if that works. May have to blend this again. This food sieve worked really well for kind of separating out the pulp and the juice of this hot sauce. But for the next time, I think I might invest in a food mill. They're actually fairly cheap. I think even Walmart had it for like 15 bucks or something. So next time, I think I might invest in that and make it a little easier on myself. All right, I am pretty satisfied with this pulp that's left over. So I'm going to actually take this and put it on some parchment paper, put it in my oven at a really low temp, dehydrate it, and then make it into a powder so that I can top it on some different things. I'm gonna have to try some different recipes with this, but this is spicy, but it's not like unbearably spicy. This is like the typical like Frank's Red Hot or like Tabasco sauce spice level. So it is perfect. So I'm excited to see what I can do with this, but I'm also super excited
for the hot sauce underneath. All right, friends, look how gorgeous this is. On camera, it looks more yellow, but it's honestly like this beautiful peach color. It's super smooth. It's perfect. Like, this is perfect hot sauce consistency. It tastes so good. I almost forgot. I need to add some salt. I'm probably just going to do a pinch I have some pink Himalayan salt. So just a pinch of salt. I'll go ahead and mix that in. It will take some time for that to kind of dissolve. This is going to be so stinking good. And I am so excited. So for jars, I have not repping Frank's Red Hot, but this is an old Frank's Red Hot jar. I probably could have done a better job cleaning it off. But I'm going to fill it up. This is not going to be large enough, so any extras I'll put in a pint jar and put a nice clean lid. I need to get a disc, but this is done. So I'm going to do a little bit more research and see if there's anything I can do with the leftover brine, just because there's so much of it and it's hot. I'm curious to see if I could like use it in a recipe for all of these peppers that I picked. Because all of that is water, salt, and it's kind of infused with the peppers. So it has the hotness of the pepper, and it's tangy because it's fermented. So I'm curious if I could use that to can with. I don't know if that would be safe canning practices or recommended. So don't do what I'm saying unless you do your own research. Always when canning, make sure that you understand fully what you're doing in terms of safe canning practices, and then you can kind of adjust to what you feel comfortable with, because there's a canning group on Facebook called Canning Rebels, and they do a lot of things that aren't strictly safe canning practices, and yet they are practices that have been in their family for generations or whatnot. And so I don't know. It's up to your discretion. So I'm going to see if there's anything I can do with this brine. I'm going to bottle up these hot sauces, put them in my fridge. They should be good for a few months. They may separate. That's fine. Perfectly normal. Just give it a good shake. Yeah. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you guys want to watch any of my other content, I'll go ahead and pop a video up here for you. But until my next upload, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.